From County College of Morris, this is CCM All Access.
Hello, and welcome to Season 6 of CCM All Access, the show that brings you news and information from the County College of Morris. I'm Daniil Barkov, and today we have two guests who will be telling us about their departments and the programs they offer. Our first guest is Phelps, who is the Director of Campus Life at CCM. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on. How have you been through this current pandemic?
Yeah, it's been an interesting time, that's for sure, but we're doing all right.
Okay, good to know. So, can you please tell us about what you and your department do here at CCM?
Sure. In our department, we work with all the clubs and organizations, the student leaders, help them plan their events and their meetings and stuff like that. All the fun events we have a piece in.
Okay, so some of the things that you guys have been doing recently with the new challenges that have been happening. If you could tell us about some of those, like how has everything changed for your department?
Sure, yeah, everything changed pretty dramatic. We were really a high-touch office in the past. All our events were mainly in person, that kind of stuff. So it's changed very dramatic.
Okay, so I know the Welcome Bash is something that you guys have planned, but it's all going to be virtual, correct?
Right, it's going to be a virtual welcome bash, so we're real excited. It's going to be on Tuesday. So for an hour and a half or so, students can drop in, they can find out about what the different clubs offer, they can meet the student leaders, and it's the big recruitment tool for the year. So we're real excited about that, and especially in the virtual format, because we've never done that before.
Okay, so can you take us over some of the challenges that you faced with how this semester's been going?
Sure, it's definitely been a challenge. You know, the student leaders aren't quite sure how to engage the new people. They're so used to doing it in person. So that's been a big adjustment, having to adjust their marketing. We can't just throw a poster on a bulletin board anymore. It all has to be done through social media and stuff like that. And a lot of our clubs had started doing that, but now they really have to just depend on it. So it's been a big adjustment for them.
Okay, so what about, I know with clubs and events, it's definitely been a little challenging. How do the clubs, how is that affected?
Sure, we started this process back in March with about 50 clubs and organizations. I think, once it's said and done this semester, we'll probably be down to 25 or 30 just because some of the clubs won't come back and, they're just not interested in the virtual environment, or the student leaders were too challenged. But more than half of our clubs will come back and will do real well in the virtual environment. Some of our clubs didn't even miss a beat back in March when this happened. Our newspaper kept putting out editions even though they had to do everything virtually. A couple of our clubs just moved their processes right online, or they were already online for a piece and just moved the whole thing online.
Now, have students been starting new clubs by any chance during this?
Yeah, not too many new clubs have started. We'll see what happens at the Welcome Bash. Usually after that, we'll get some students that didn't see a club that they're interested in, and they'll come in and we'll get them started with a new club.
Can you take us through what you have planned for Welcome Bash?
Sure, Welcome Bash is going to be fun. There'll be some videos, so the students that are interested can watch a video on a particular club, see which ones they're interested in. Then they'll come into the Zoom and we will send them a breakout. So each club will have its own breakout where they can actually talk to the student leaders and the advisors of the clubs and find out which ones they're really interested in.
So Welcome Bash isn't specifically just clubs. I'm sure there's other elements to it. Can you walk us through that a little bit?
Sure, yeah, and there'll be some other departments there. So if students have questions, they can talk to those departments and find out what they're all about as well.
Now, how about, I know you guys also handled the new students who are coming in. How did that go?
Sure, we had new student orientation. Again, it was very different than in the past because we didn't do it in person. So we divided it into two segments. So there was a virtual program where the students signed on to Zoom, got welcomed by Dr. Arcona, the president, and Dr. Simmons, our vice president. And then we showed them a series of videos where in the past they would have gone on tour of campus and stopped at these things. And we had them all recorded, and they got to watch those videos for about a half hour. And then we had a student leader lounge, which was great. So we had some of the student government members, and they answered questions from the new students, and really gave them a great perspective and tips to be successful at CCM.
Do you think there was a smaller turnout this year because it was all virtual? than it
Yeah,
would have
it
been
definitely
regular?
was a little smaller. We serviced about 600 students to the new
Oh,
student
wow.
orientation, where normally we service, over 700. So there was
Okay.
a slight drop off.
Okay. Oh, that's actually, I was expect that's way more. I was expecting it to drop, but be a larger drop,
Yeah,
so
no,
that's really
it
impressive.
wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't a dramatic
Mhm.
drop off. Yeah,
Yeah.
so we serviced over 600, and then the rest of the students that either chose not to attend or just wanted to watch the videos, we made all the resources available to them on the new student orientation page, so
Okay.
they could get a chance to experience it.
And how much staff do you have helping you out throughout all this?
Yeah, there's 4 of us in the office. So
And are you working on campus or from home? I'm assuming mostly from home.
yeah, mostly from home. It's mixed. We also do the student IDs for everyone on
Okay.
campus. So those have to be physically handed out. So we were able to collect the pictures and do that virtually. But once it came to actually handing out the ID, the physical ID, we were on campus for that. So we 2 of us have been on campus most of the month.
Now, I'm sure it was definitely a little bit challenging transitioning when everything started to happen. Can you tell us some challenges that you faced?
Yeah, it definitely was challenging because people just dropped off communication. And it was tough to get them back in because obviously everyone was, and as they should have been, worried about their classes. So we had to wait for a couple of weeks for the classes to get settled in. But then we were able to do some great programs last semester. We had a trivia night, which
Oh,
went
wow.
really fun. We gave out a pizza. We had a person who won got a pizza delivered to their house. So that was fun. We did a bunch of recognition ceremonies over Zoom. So it was a nice end of the semester.
Do you have anything planned? Any other events for upcoming in this semester?
Yeah, we have a couple of things going on. So our newspaper will continue to put out the newspaper. We have an event for Veterans Day that our student veterans and support organization is going to put on. There'll be a display on campus that people can drive by and see. So we got some good things coming up.
Okay. And another thing I was just kind of curious with clubs, because I know if some students, just so we get the word out, so some clubs can still come back or expand. How can students basically reach out to them before Welcome Bash?
Sure, yeah, anytime they can just go to the Campus Life page and we have a listing of the clubs, which has the contact information for the club advisor, which is a great way, and then also all their social media is listed there as well. So whatever the student's favorite platform is, they can find it on that page in Campus Life.
So what about anything else that your department helps out with aside from just, events and clubs here on campus?
Yeah, we definitely help with the marketing of events. So we put out the Campus Life update every other Wednesday. So different departments will have different programs going on, and that's we send an email to students every Monday or Wednesday, and it has the Campus Life update, and then we'll highlight certain programs that are coming up the next week. So this way, if students forgot to mark it on the calendar, they get one last reminder that something's coming up.
Okay. And is there anything else that we can look forward to that you're considering doing, basically? Because we don't know when school's going to start coming back yet, but anything else we can look forward
Yeah,
to?
sure. Some of our clubs are going to have some fun stuff going on. We're going to do again another trivia night that went really well. Planning on doing an open mic so students can perform on Instagram or Zoom, and
Okay.
everybody else can see it and support them. So yeah, it should be a fun semester once the clubs kick in.
Okay. So basically, there's going to be like open mic night kind of through Zoom type of thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
And what does that kind of entail?
Yeah, so students will let us know what their talent is, and
Okay.
then we'll, tell them, okay, come up on stage, and we'll put them in, and they can read a poem, they can sing a song, play the drums.
Okay. Wow, that's
so,
super interesting. Okay.
yeah.
And when can people look forward to
Yeah,
to that?
yeah. Once we get through the welcome bash, then everything will start happening in October and November.
And when is Welcome Bash?
It's on Tuesday, September 29th at 12:30 on Zoom, so the students can check their email for the link.
Okay, perfect. And before we go, is there anything else you would like to say to the students?
Yeah, I just want to encourage all the students to get engaged on campus. I know it's tough virtually, but still get engaged. It'll help them get resources on the campus, and if you stay engaged, you tend to be successful at CCM.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming on, and thank you very much for everything you've been doing for the campus.
My pleasure.
Now we are going to take a quick break, and when we return, we will be chatting with Jill Wells, who will be telling us about the Academic Success Center at CCM. Stay tuned.
I'm Andrea Lucia, a graduate of County College of Morris. At CCM, I gained a high quality education, was involved with clubs on campus, and performed university research in tissue engineering. My CCM education prepared me for ongoing success. Today, I am at Cornell University, studying engineering and performing research in cardiac tissue engineering. The professors and staff at CCM helped me to start right and finish strong.
Welcome back to CCM All Access. I'm Daniil Barkov, and joining us via Zoom is Jill Wells, who is the Coordinator of Academic Advisement and Student Success at CCM. Hello, Jill.
Hi, Daniil. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for coming on via Zoom. This is very exciting for us.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. So, can you please tell us what you and your department do here at CCM?
Sure. My title is Coordinator of Academic Advisement and Student Success, and I sit in the Academic Success Center. We call that TASK for short. And my position there at the college is to not only coordinate the advisement program and process for students, connecting them with their faculty advisors, but also working within TASK to assist students for first year advisement. So we have 5 student success specialists that work in our department, and my position is to sort of coordinate that effort for them.
So, and just so I'm being clear, your department is specifically focusing on first year students advisement instead of, how students would be doing it every single year with their majors, correct?
Correct. So this is a pretty new venture that we've come upon here at CCM. It's new. We've only been doing this about a year and a half, and we assign all new students to a student success specialist to more or less what we call onboard them. So to navigate and help navigate those students who are first-time college students at CCM. And we do all of the advising for these first-year students to get them into the proper classes and that sort of thing. And as I said, help them navigate the campus virtually or otherwise. And then we pass the baton to those faculty advisors. So each student who is going for a particular major or certificate will be assigned to a faculty advisor as well.
So, can you tell us a little bit about some of the, challenges that have been presented with this new program and with COVID happening?
Yes, it's been interesting. We've had to go completely online, obviously, due to the pandemic. And it's really been actually a lot smoother and has gone a lot better than I ever really dreamed. We coordinate our efforts with the admissions office, with financial aid, with records and registration. And basically, all of the students, the new students, are provided information from admissions about connecting with an academic advisor within TASK to help them. And so we've been doing tons of Zoom sessions with students and their parents or friends. And that's been going on really since the pandemic started in mid-March and really has gone up until early September.
Okay, so I know you said it's mostly Zoom meetings, but have you noticed that, I don't know whether it would be easier for students to basically do private Zoom meetings, but it's definitely more accessible, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I think it has been, as long as the process is there so that admissions is right on it, so that anytime there's a new student that is wanting to seek a degree or certificate, they get an email from admissions and they get a link that connects them to somebody from the student success area where they'll basically connect with somebody one-on-one. They can bring a family member if they want to. The admissions office also is working with sending out to the non-degree seekers as well. And we've seen an influx of that because a lot of students who would normally either go back to their four-year school or were just starting at their four-year school came to us as visitors. And so admissions would send out something connecting those students to our counseling office, and they'd meet with somebody down in our counseling center, also through Zoom. So it's really worked out very, very well, I think, for the students because it has afforded them the flexibility of meeting with somebody and maybe having a parent or a friend right nearby to assist them.
See, that's what I was thinking because I guess advisement is always, making an appointment and going is a little challenging for a commuting school, but now with Zoom, it just seems like a lot more accessible and definitely easier for students.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that you say that because there is something to that. Prior to this, you'd have specific times that you'd have to kind of come in on, or specific open registration dates for last minute people who would come in. And in the way we did it this summer and through the I guess the late spring, is really it was a little difficult for us because you can't do 10 of these a day. They're very work intensive. They're all encompassing, and so it's important that the student success specialists had breaks in between and that sort of thing. But they were able to schedule these meetings, and the students would be able to do it on their time. So it really worked out well.
Now, is it mandatory for incoming students to do these meetings? Because I'm assuming some take longer than others, and like you said, some students actually need a lot of help, and some students might just very quickly go through with it.
Yeah, it's our philosophy to, not just provide students with what we think is the right way of doing it, but we want to provide students with what they need. So some students needed more time, and some students needed to come back and do more than one session. Other students needed 5 minutes. They did a lot of the work on their own. We provided videos in the admissions links. We provided a lot of help sheets, links to our website. So some students, they only needed just a little bit of an okay. Others needed longer, as I mentioned. Some didn't need any at all. But our student success specialists always sent out emails and, in the beginning, letters to all of the students encouraging them to connect with them. So we use this Titans Direct system, it was a godsend, quite frankly, because having this system that worked so well allowed students not only to access financial aid information, payment information. Eventually, they would be able to see their grades and things like that, and obviously register for classes and many other things. But they basically could plan everything on their own, go on ahead of time, and then basically communicate with their student success specialist on an advising tab that was available to them. So even if they just wanted to check in, every student success specialist has a caseload, and they were big caseloads. And as I said, some needed more than others, but they were able to give them what they needed, and some didn't need much at all.
Now, do you see this, I guess, this virtual model staying with the program after everything gets back to normal?
Well, we all miss campus. We all miss that up close and personal with students. We surely do. We really want to be safe. I see this as probably like a lot of businesses have, and certainly schools have, as something where we're able to do this, and we've surprised ourselves to say, "Wow, this is an option for people." So I think prior to this, we would think, nope, they've got to be in front of us in order to get all this information. And now this is a wonderful option for people who can't come in, live at a distance, or just don't feel comfortable coming in. So I think this will stay, to be honest with you. Hopefully, we'll be back on campus because we all do miss that. But this process and protocol, I think, will stay for a while.
So aside from the mandatory well, not the mandatory, but the recommended for freshman students, is there any way that students can get additional advisement who aren't just first years?
Yeah, for sure. Right now, and we've just recently redone this on our website, If the students go on to task on the website, there's a button that we just redid that says, I think it says something like meet with a student success specialist. They can click on that button and go to a live Zoom meeting. A lot of people in our division of student development and enrollment management, can do the same on other offices' websites as well. But we've transitioned this over just recently so that between the hours, I think it's 10 to 3, we'll be offering sort of meet with student success specialist time frame so that the students can jump on at any time and ask a question. A lot of faculty offices are, I'm sure, going to incorporate this into their office hours during the semester as well. And probably within a week or two, we are going to be sending out a big email to all students, reminding them once again how to connect not only with their student success specialist, but with their faculty advisor, because we will be assigning students in majors and certificates to a faculty advisor or group of advisors. And so they'll be able to communicate not only with the student success specialist, but also through to a faculty advisor through their student planning account on Titans Direct.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, well, thank you so much. Before we go, is there anything else you want to get the word out about there? I know you said something about registration for classes is still available.
Yes. What I'd like to just let everybody know is that certainly the 15-week semester, which started in early September, is very popular, and that's traditionally when a lot of people start. However, we do have a late 7-week start date that starts, I believe, on November the 4th. And there are new classes being offered in that session pretty much every day. They are looking at that very, very closely, the deans and chairs of those academic divisions and schools. And so we've added in recently many classes, a lot of general education classes, and even some developmental classes in English and possibly math, if I'm not mistaken. And students can jump on to Titans Direct Student Planning and check out the classes that are available and still register and kind of salvage the semester, maybe take a couple of classes in the late 7-week semester. So I would encourage any student who wants to add to their semester or wasn't able to get things together and is still looking to register for classes for the fall to jump on and do so.
Okay, well, thank you so much for coming on. It's been great having you.
Thanks so much, Daniil. It's been great to talk to you.
This concludes another edition of CCM All Access. From all of us on the crew, we wish you good health and thank you for watching.